Hi, Energy Express friends. Welcome back. It's Tuesday of week 5. We're going to start this morning off with something sweet. A little sweet science, that is. We are going to head into the kitchen with our friend Emma and have a science experiment and lesson making rock candy. Take it away, Emma.
Hi, my name is Emma Gardner and I am the Roane County 4-H Extension Agent. And today we are going to be talking about how to make rock candy. Have you ever looked at rock candy and looked at the glossy crystalline structures that kind of look like jewels and wondered how it was made? Well, today we are going to go into that. So rock candy is made out of one ingredient, and that's sugar, or sucrose, which is the chemical name for it. Sucrose forms crystalline structures by getting into what is called a highly ordered structure. So this is how you form your crystal. So today we are going to be making rock candy. So we're going to start out by pouring some water into this pan here that we are going to heat to a boil. So when you guys are working on this at home, you need 1 cup of water to 2 cups of sugar. So I have kind of a big pan here today, so I'm going to use 4 cups of water, which means that I'm going to use 8 cups of sugar. So let's get started by measuring out our water. So this measuring container will only go to 2 cups, so I'm going to have to do this twice. As a chemist, or in a former life, I was a chemist. So I'm so used to pouring things and trying to be as precise as possible. When you're at home, you don't have to be quite so precise. It's okay if you're a little over or a little under. There we go. All right, so now we're just gonna wait for that to boil. So while we wait for that to boil, let's make sure we have everything we need to make rock candy. So you will need sugar, water, you will need jars of some kind, or glass containers. It doesn't have to be glass, but glass is nice because then you can actually see the crystals forming as you go. And then you will need something for your crystal to form on. So I have here official rock candy sticks that will be able to form directly on this rock candy stick, but it can form on anything. So in the past, I've used kebab skewers. I've actually used string as well. So here's an example of one that I made on string. So what you do if you use string is you just make a little loop in the top and you stick a pencil over it or pencil through it and you just let it hang down in your jar. And that works really well. So that is a way that you can make rock candy as well. So just as long as it's something for the crystals to form on. You will also need food coloring, and if you like, you can get flavoring. Now you don't have to have food coloring and you don't have to have flavoring. Now there's all kinds of different flavoring options that you can have. You can get raspberry and then pick like a blue food coloring and make blue raspberry rock candy if you want. You can also grab mint and then get some green flavoring and make mint green rock candy. There are all kinds of options, red and cherry. But today we're just gonna use vanilla because that's what I had at home. So once you have it at a rolling boil, you wanna take your temperature down a little bit, down to more of a simmer. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna start adding your sugar. So I'm gonna be adding the sugar 1 cup at a time. So I put 4 cups of water in this. So for my 1-to-2 ratio, I'm gonna need to put 8 cups of sugar in. So I'm just gonna do 1 cup at a time and stir between each addition. When you do this at home, if you do less than 4 cups, say if you do 2 cups or you do 1 cup of water, then I suggest doing it in half-cup increments instead of in whole cup increments. But we're gonna do in whole cup increments for this just to save us a little bit of time. I'm gonna just pour the sugar in. This is my first cup out of 8. I'm gonna start stirring it in. So what I'm doing with the sugar in this pot is I am getting it to dissolve. So our plan here when we're dissolving our sugar is we are gonna make a super saturated solution. So to be saturated means that you won't be able to fit any more of our sugar into the water. So now all we're gonna do is we're gonna let it cool down. I'm gonna pour this into a second container just to make it so that I don't accidentally spill everything. Sometimes using a funnel is helpful for this, but like I said earlier, I'm a chemist, so I'm a pro pourer. Oh, not even a drop on the table. Pro pourer. All right, so what I'm gonna do next is I have here 2 jars, and I'm gonna pick what I want to go in them. So this is the point where you add your food coloring and your flavoring. So I'm not gonna measure it out, but I'm gonna add just a little bit of vanilla extract to both of mine. So just a little smidge, you don't need very much, a little bit goes a long way. Probably you want like half a teaspoon or less. Like, you don't need a lot of vanilla extract. So the next thing I'm gonna do is choose my colors. So I think I'm gonna do purple. So that'll be blue and red. And I'm just gonna put a drop of each in this one on the right. And I think for my other color, maybe I'll do like a nice lime green and mix yellow and green and see how that looks. That way I'm using all the food coloring. But you don't need a lot of food coloring in it. You know, this one, I think I probably put like 1 or 2 drops of blue in it. So if you want yours to be more blue than this, you might want to put a little bit more. See, it's really purple. So I want to leave a little bit of space on the top, maybe a little bit more than that, just so you have enough for a good handle. So what we're gonna do next, so you wanna cool it at this point so that these are cool to the touch. So these are still a little warm, so we're gonna let them cool a little bit more. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna take whatever we're using for our rock candy, so you wanna make sure that you soak it in water. So I bought rock candy sticks, but you can use strings, you can use other types of sticks. I've seen it done on like kebab skewers. That works really well. You can use, I believe you can use popsicle sticks if you need to. There are just all kinds of options, but I went out and purchased these, and you can do that too if you need to. So they work great. Oh, also those like cake pop sticks, they're like the paper ones, those work really well too. So what I do is I have had these soaking in water, and what we're gonna do next is we are going to cover these in our seed crystals. So a seed crystal is just a little crystal that we are gonna have in, that I have poured out here on this plate. So I poured out some crystals on the plate here. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one of my sticks that are covered in water, and I'm just going to cover it in these seed crystals. You really wanna double check to make sure that your jars are cool to the touch at this point, because otherwise what'll happen when you put your stick in is they will just dissolve. So it really has to be cool when you put it in. And all you're gonna do is you're just gonna drop it in and lean it to the side. So we're gonna keep doing that until we have 3 to 4, maybe even 5 in each container. So one thing to remember though is the more that you put in your container, the smaller your crystals will be. So if you want one really giant rock candy, then you wanna put just 1 in. If you want smaller rock candies, you can put 3 or 4 or 5 in. So what happens next is slowly over the next 7 days, you will begin to have crystals show up on your rock candy. So you are gonna wanna store these in a place where they will not be bothered. So when I did this at home, I put it on my windowsill in my kitchen, and I put just a little paper towel on top of it. One thing that you don't wanna do is put a lid or a plastic wrap on top of it, because the way that this works is as it evaporates, as the water evaporates out, the supersaturated solution cannot hold so much sugar anymore, so it crystallizes. So what usually happens is you will have just a little layer of sugar crystal on the top of your rock candy, and then on your rock candy stick where you had your seed crystals, you'll have crystals form on top of it. So thank you guys so much for learning with me on how to make rock candy. I hope you learned a lot about how crystals are formed, and I hope that you enjoy this and get to make some beautiful rock candy at home.
Okay, friends, next up, we're going to talk about our hometowns and how cool they are. I grew up in the coolest town. It's where the pepperoni roll was invented. Let's go visit our friend Lauren and learn what makes our hometowns cool.
Hi, I'm Lauren with WVU Extension.
And I'm EJ, Lauren from WVU Extension's son.
And we're here today to talk to you about what makes our hometown cool. One fun activity to do with kids is to have them draw pictures of the things that make their community great. We often think about the things that make other states and towns cool, but there's so many awesome things going on in West Virginia, and many of them are right outside your doorstep in your hometown. So you can have kids draw pictures of things that make their hometown cool on a piece of paper, on the back of a paper plate, or on a chalkboard or dry erase board. So EJ has drawn some things he likes about Morgantown on this chalkboard. You want to share them with us, buddy?
Yep. My favorite food is a cheeseburger, and my favorite activities are launch pad and splash pad. This is a playground, my favorite place to go. And this is my friend, and this is my mom with her crazy ears and hair. And this is my house. And this is my school. And these are mountains.
All right. So there's a lot of things that make Morgantown cool. Think about what makes your hometown cool. Also, let's go visit with our friends in the southern part of the state while they design a whole city and think about all the people, places, and things that make a city run. See you later.
Later, alligator.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Nila. I am an extension specialist with WVU Extension, and I have some friends here today to help me talk about an activity with My Hometown is Cool. This is Noah.
Hi.
This is Bella.
Hi.
This is Peyton.
What's up?
And we are going to do a fun activity on this 4th of July at Beach Fort Campground, where we're having a lovely time camping. So to begin, we're going to use black Twizzlers, cherry Twizzlers, some Brock's Spice Drops or some dots, anything will do. We have a few little sticky notes here, and we have some green folders, okay? So let's begin, okay? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to lay these green folders out, and these are kind of different folders than what I really wanted, but they're going to work. We're going to make it work. Sometimes you just have to use what you have. So we're going to spread these out like this, and this is going to be our real estate. And we're going to take a moment and we're going to use the licorice flavored Twizzlers as our roads. We're going to use our red Twizzlers as our utilities, and we're going to use our drops as our structures. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to put together our town. Okay, so here we are back. We've been working on our project and we've made our little village of Barbersville on our map. So Noah, can you tell us what you put with your Barbersville that we're building?
Yes. So I made the mall, also comes with the theater, the Waffle House, Extreme Air, Wendy's, Oscars, the Colony, and last, Francis Court.
Okay. And Bella, what did you add to the town?
I made the dollar store, the quarterback road, which is here. I made the bank, and I also made Walmart.
Okay. And Peyton, what do you have in town?
I made the dollar store, a street called, I made the government house, a street called 64th Street. I made a street called 4H Can Drive, and another one named Wilson Drive.
Okay. Well, our next object here is we are going to become city planners, in that we know that we have a cool hometown in Barbersville, West Virginia. But now we're going to think about what resources we have left and what we can use to make our hometown even cooler. What do you think we should have to make Barbersville cooler?
Well, if something happens, we don't have any authorities like police or firemen or an ambulance.
Okay, so we need a fire department and an EMT. Okay, alrighty. What do you think we need to add to our town, Bella, to make it cooler?
I say like something for kids, like something fun, like roller coasters, like King's Island, Cedar Point. And
No, okay, so like a little amusement park or something? Okay. I think you had an idea around that too, Peyton, when we talked about Bartlesville has a really nice park. What did you think they needed to add to the park?
They need a water slide that goes around the whole park,
Oh,
and they need the ground to be made out of trampoline.
oh, a trampoline, in the ground trampoline park and a water slide.
And you also need hover shoes.
Hover shoes. Okay, so do you think we have enough resources for that here with us? Would that cost a lot of money?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would. Okay. And so we might have to look at, what is possible here for us to do and think about that a little bit. What do you think, Noah? What would make Bartlesville better?
Well, a police department,
Yeah.
which is what Peyton said.
Yeah.
And like phantom fireworks.
Oh,
Yeah.
a phantom fireworks stand? Well, it is 4th of July. That would
Oh,
be
yeah.
exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be very exciting. And like a lake that you can like fish in,
Okay.
like
well,
in the park,
yeah.
and a trampoline place.
You think the trampoline place would be good too? An outdoor one? Yeah.
Yeah, like an outdoor.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing to do when you go to the park, to Bartlesville Park?
Well, I like to bring my dog, so we play with my dog.
Yeah.
I meet new friends at the park,
Okay.
and I just like to go there to be in nature.
Okay. Bella, what's your favorite thing to do out at the park?
to like go exploring and kayaking and like.
Oh, so we need a place to kayak in the park.
Yeah.
Because we have a fishing lake, Lake William out at Bartlesville Park. It's very nice to fish in, but there's no place to kayak. That would be great. And Noah, what do you think?
I think, like in the park. What is my favorite thing to do in the park?
Uh-huh.
Well, my favorite thing is like to go on the playground.
Okay. And you like all the playgrounds at the
Yeah.
park?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, here we are. We've got our plan. We kind of moved our town to some different real estate outside of town to the park area. And tell us what's going on over there, Peyton. How's that? How did that start off?
So what we made is a fire station, a police department. We made a water slide that goes into the lake, and we made a tramp ground, which is that part of the park is made from trampolines.
Okay, Bella.
We made a lake for kayaking. We also made a fire station.
Okay.
We made little some
Made
roads
sure-
because we didn't have roads.
Made sure all of your. So as city planners, you really have to think about making sure that you have roads and utilities and the real estate to be able to work with it. Noah, how are we going to get up on top of that mountain to go down that water slide?
Oh, so if you go to like one of those skiing or snowboarding places, they have those little elevators that are kind of like
a chairlift.
Chairlifts.
Yeah.
You have those, and it takes you up there. And the slide, it's like a ski ramp. So once you get to the bottom end, it like shoots you up.
Yeah.
And then so you can like go flying.
No, that would be great.
Yeah. And I
That'd
made
be great.
and the new thing I made was a phantom fireworks
Yep.
and a playground. Now this is this is not like a regular playground. I have slides as tall as trees.
Oh, great.
Like as tall as that tree over there.
That would be exciting.
And and there's 10 of them.
Okay.
And then there's 20 swings.
Awesome. So how many of you think you might be interested in a job someday as a city planner?
Man, I want to be
Yeah.
a city planner.
Oh, and do you think maybe you want to take your idea to the mayor and city council and see if they might think it's interesting?
Yeah.
Oh,
They'll definitely
okay.
be thinking, that's
Oh,
interesting.
they will definitely think that. All right. Well, thanks, guys. I hope you can have some fun time thinking about how to make your hometown cool.
Okay, friends, get out your tools and your excavators. We're going on an adventure to a jiggly dig site. That's right, we're going on a Jello excavation adventure. Let's go visit Jocelyn and Emma and see exactly what they're up to.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn, the Kanawha County 4-H agent.
And I'm Emma, the Roane County 4-H agent.
and today we're going to do an archaeology activity with some Jello excavation. So the word excavation means to dig in a way where you're going to keep track of the things you find. So if you go outside and you dig a hole in your yard, right, you're not necessarily going to keep track of all the things you find in the hole. But if you did, that would take it from just digging in the backyard to excavating. So excavating is something that is commonly used for people who study archaeology or archaeologists. Emma, what does archaeology mean?
Oh, I mean, and not just archaeologists do excavation, but also paleontologists do excavation. So I know a lot of people, when they hear about archaeology and paleontology, sometimes they think about dinosaurs, right? So paleontology is the study of dead creatures and dead living things. So you can find plant matter, that's paleontology, dinosaurs, of course, former man, as long as they're like dead remains that you can dig up, that's paleontology. But with archaeology, what you're looking for is you're looking for tools and sort of things that man left behind, structures, anything that is like cups, pottery, the sort of things that we have. So like paleontology would be if someone found you, and archaeology would be if someone found your stuff, if that makes sense, and they dug up your stuff.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. So, because we can't go out necessarily and find ourselves an archaeological site to dig, we've created, out of this Jello, an archaeological site. So, one thing we want to look at first is all of these different layers of Jello. So we have green and then blue and then red, and these represent the layers of earth. So sometimes it's hard for us to see that the earth is made of layers, right? Because a lot of times all we see is like the topsoil, like the soil that's right underneath the grass. But sometimes if you're like driving, especially in the mountains of West Virginia, when you're driving down the road and maybe the road is cut through a mountain and you look on either side, you can see the layers of different kinds of rocks. That's sort of what we're doing here with our Jello archaeological excavation site. So what we're going to do is Emma is going to be our recorder, and she has some grid paper where we're going to record the stuff that we find inside of our Jello, okay? So we have 3 papers because we have 3 layers. So we're going to have a paper for green and a paper for blue and a paper for red.
I'll write that on top too.
Awesome.
Green, blue, and red, so I know which layer we're working with.
Perfect. And so, if you want to do this at home, it's super simple. All you need is a couple different colors of Jello. You don't have to have green, blue, and red. You don't even have to have 3 layers. You could do 2 layers. You could even do 1 layer. You could do 10 layers if you want to take
You
on
would
a big
need a
project.
really deep container
That's
if you did 10 layers, though.
Right, but, and it's always fun if you can see through and see all the different layers. But we're going to see what we find. So we've got 2 different types of archaeological specimens that have been buried inside of our excavation site. So what we're going to do first, we have our tools, or Emma's going to be I'm going to be the excavator.
You're the
Okay.
excavator. I'm the mapper.
I've got my tools here.
Now,
okay?
one thing I want to point out is that real archaeological sites, they use grids, but they do it with string. So what they do is they make literal grids out on top of their archaeological site with grids with string, and that way they know which place it came from. And from even inside the square, now this is much smaller, inside the square they'll even say in the left-hand side of the square I found this cup, or in the right-hand side of the square I found this hammer or some other type of tool. So that is something that we also should be thinking about while we're doing this.
Yes, exactly right. So, and the way we can set up our grid map. So one way, so horizontally, we're gonna do letters of the alphabet.
Okay.
So we're gonna letter our grid with letters of the alphabet.
C.
So it'll sort of be like bingo. You know how you say like B1 or G24. This way we can keep track of what square we find things in.
So I've got all the way up to O, and then on this side we're gonna go 1 through whatever?
Yep,
Okay.
and we're gonna put numbers down the side. Yeah. So vertically, we've got numbers. Horizontally, we've got letters. Perfect. And we're gonna do the best we can. I mean, you really wanted to be dedicated. There you go, perfect. So we're gonna do the best we can. We're gonna map out where we find our different artifacts on our paper.
If
Excellent.
you wanted to be really extra, like you were saying, I guess you could put real string across it or mark it.
Yeah, you could, absolutely. And then another thing that you could do here, so if you were going to make this for someone else, and you wanted to simulate the conditions of what it would be like if you're an archaeologist going out and doing a dig and not being able to see what's under the grass or the surface of the ground, you could like cover the top of this with like whipped cream, or you cover it with like Oreo cookie crumbles to look like dirt to cover the top of it.
That just sounds delicious.
It sounds so good.
Oh my gosh.
Right. So you could do that, but we didn't do that. So we're just gonna dig in here. Okay. So we're gonna put this little flag here so we know that this is our A1, just in case we have to like move around the excavation site. So, okay, I'm going to start with the one that's closest here. So I've got this blueberry. I'm gonna start digging in.
That artifact.
This artifact, oh that's right. This blueberry artifact.
Let's see, where do we think that is?
Oh yeah, so Emma can see.
I think we'll say that's at C10.
C10, okay, awesome. So we're gonna pull that out.
Now, if we were digging this for real, we wouldn't be able to see it at all. Can I just
Right,
put it on
exactly.
this?
Okay, there we go. All right, so we've got one at C1, okay? And so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna work across like by the letters of the alphabet. So if this is A, I'm gonna work A through O. So I'm gonna see the next one that's closest to this side of the archaeological site. And I'm gonna dig another one. So Emma, where do you think this is?
What do we think, F4?
F4.
Draw a little blueberry again.
Perfect.
They got their little crowns.
Ooh, there we go. There's
Wow,
the blueberry.
beautiful.
Lovely. Ooh, this one had a stem. So that's a different kind of thing happening. You can draw a stem.
Oh,
first
yeah,
one.
you're right.
Yeah, so if you see anything that's different about your
You're right.
the artifacts you dig up.
Now, I think real archaeologists, because they don't know, I think they just start in one square and they dig the whole thing out, right? And then they move on to the next square.
That's correct. So if you cover this with your whatever,
Yarn or whatever.
yeah, or if you cover it with like whipped cream or Oreos,
Ooh, yeah,
and you can't
yeah.
see the top,
That's what you
then you
meant.
can go square by square.
And that's closer to what real archaeologists do.
Yeah, and we will probably have to do that as we get farther down. Into
Probably,
this.
yeah.
Because these are easy artifacts to see.
Yeah, we
but
can
some of
see
the
them, yeah.
artifacts are a little bit
And some of
different.
them are even sticking out a little bit.
Yeah, there's some disruption. Okay, so I'm gonna do this one next. Where do we think this one is?
What do you think, G6?
G6. Sounds great.
Sounds right to me.
Sounds good. There we go.
Oh man,
Ooh, it's very jiggly. Okay, perfect.
I don't know if it's because I skipped lunch, but I'm like, man, I could go for some Jello.
Well, that's the thing. You can eat all of this. This is enough for a whole family.
I can go for some Jello with some blueberries.
Some blueberry Jello.
So that was thinking about this. So our top layer had which of our artifacts do you think was put there first? If we have them on the bottom or the top when we were.
Yes. So there's a geological law called the law of superposition. That sounds really fancy, but that just basically means that things that are on top are going to be youngest. So it's going to be the last things that were buried, and then the things that are down the deepest are the oldest, right? So as we're digging, we're actually going back in time. We're finding things that are older, okay?
All right.
Yay, our excavation.
Now we're
is
down to the
complete.
bedrock.
Down to the bedrock. Nothing left. There's only just like leftover sticky bits. So there you go. So now you can think about your experience in how you excavated your area. If you guys had a good time doing your Jello excavation, make sure to share pictures. Share maybe a little video of yourself doing your Jello excavation.
We
I'm
would
sure we'll share
love
that
to see it.
information. Yes, we would love to
We would
see it.
love to see that. That would make us feel really good if you guys would video yourselves doing your Jello excavation or take pictures.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Bye.
Well, friends, that's about it. we've jiggled, we've wriggled, and we've even made rock candy. We'll see you tomorrow for another exciting day of Energy Express. See you later.